Hi and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by Monoco from Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Talk about a character who really knows how to make an entrance. As soon as Monoco meets the party, he's incredibly hilarious and has an already strong relationship with Verso. He challenges us to a fight, because of course he does, Jestrels love to fight, and our ears are assaulted with some absolutely amazing music. If you're like me, you'll sit there jamming to the saxophone a bit, kind of forgetting that you're supposed to fight because of this absolute banger, and then after the fight, you're greeted with some more amazing cutscenes, dialogue, and relationship building. At this point, we're so used to Jestrels being so silly and colorful and speaking their adorable little language, and then to hear such a deep and serious voice come out of Monoco was such a shock. His relationship with Verso, Noco, and Esquier was so enjoyable to watch, and he's such a memorable character for so many reasons. I'm really bad at changing up my party in RPGs, like I pretty much stick with whatever characters I was given first because I'm really bad at change, so unfortunately I neglected Monoco a bit from a combat perspective when I played the game. That is, until I went for the side content and not only had to get all of his skills, but level him up for my fight with Simon. It is absolutely hilarious to me that him collecting Nevron feet is literally a gameplay mechanic, and after playing with him more, I realized it was such a shame that I didn't utilize him more earlier. Nevertheless, I always adored his presence in the party with all of the other characters, and it was truly impressive how much he not only made me laugh, but made me think as well. For some reason, when thinking of dishes for Expedition 33 characters, I always find myself having to make French-based dishes, so of course, the same thing happened to Monoco. When I think of Monoco, I lean more towards a savory dish as he seems a little bit too serious and business-oriented to care for sweets, and a hearty and savory dish would provide him with the best nutrients for fighting. Now the elephant in the room here is that Monoco loves feet, since he literally collects them and treasures each one, so I just had to use feet in some way. All of this led me to a French classic, pot au feu, but of course, we're going to be calling it pot au flute. Here's what you'll need to make your own. 1 yellow onion, water, red wine, dried rosemary, dried thyme, bay leaf seasoning, garlic, 1 turnip, 1 parsnip, 1 pound of carrots, 2 leeks, 6 celery stalks, and 1 pound of yellow potatoes. As far as meat goes, you'll need about 3 pounds of pork belly, 1 to 2 pork bones or marrow bones, and 6 duck feet. We'll start off by preparing and searing our pork belly. Cut your pork belly in about 2-inch to 4-inch chunks. Pat dry with paper towels if needed, and then season all sides generously with salt and pepper. Head to the stovetop with a large skillet and start heating it on medium-high heat until the surface is warm. Without adding any oil, add the pork belly, fat or skin side down, and begin cooking each side until golden brown. Of course, the time it takes is dependent on the size of your meat, but it will likely take around 3 to 5 minutes for each side. Note that the insides do not need to be fully cooked. We're only caring about the color of the exterior for now. Once the outsides are nice and brown, we'll set the pork belly on a clean plate and set aside for later. We'll then head back to our cutting board. Peel your yellow onion and then poke 4 holes into the onion. Into each hole, stick in 1 whole clove. While you're at your cutting board, you'll also grab some garlic and peel about 6 cloves of garlic. Feel free to use more if you'd like. Back to the stovetop we go. Grab a Dutch oven or large pot and pour in 9 cups of water, 1 cup of red wine, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of bay leaf seasoning, your garlic, yellow onion, and a pinch of salt. You'll also add in your cooked pork belly, your bones, and 6 duck feet. Stir everything a little and then heat the pot on high until the liquid starts boiling. Once the liquid is bubbling and boiling, you'll reduce the heat to low and then cover the pot. Allow the pot to simmer for 2.5 hours before doing anything to it. Occasionally lift the cover to stir the contents and skim off any excess fat that comes to the surface. About 20 minutes before your timer goes off, start washing, peeling, and chopping your veggies for the pot. You'll peel and quarter your turnip and then peel and cut your parsnips into 1-inch lengths. You'll also peel about 1 pound of carrots, again cutting into 1-inch lengths. Grab your 2 leeks and chop the white and light green ends into 1-inch lengths, as well as 6 celery stalks. Lastly, peel and medium chop about 1 pound of yellow potatoes. Add all of these veggies to a medium bowl and set aside. Once the Dutch oven has officially been simmering for 2.5 hours, add your bowl of veggies inside. If there's not enough room in your Dutch oven to add in the veggies, remove some of the liquid before dumping in the veggies. You'll continue cooking for another 30 to 45 minutes until the vegetables have become softer and tender. You can then remove the pot from the heat and then remove the lid. Break up the pork belly into smaller, more bite-sized pieces and then discard any bones or duck feet. Use a ladle to spoon the broth and ingredients into a bowl or high-rimmed plate and then serve alongside some optional bread or mashed potatoes. With that, it's time to enjoy. This is an extremely warm and homey dish that screams comfort. It fills you with so many nutritious ingredients to give you a wonderful energy. The pork belly is extremely tender in the dish, and the vegetables provide such a lovely texture. The broth is soothing and healing, and this feels perfect to enjoy after a long day, especially on a cold night at a place like Monoco Station. Sure, you may have to discard the feet, but don't let them go to waste. Let Monoco have them for his collection. He might even polish them. I could definitely see Monoco enjoying this dish, especially if his friends Verso, Esquier, and Noco were by his side. They'd sit next to the campfire after this had been broiling all afternoon thanks to Noco, and they'd even enjoy some of Esquier's red wine on the side. Monoco would feel a surge of love and pride in Noco when Noco told him that he used some feet to flavor the broth. It would take all he had in him not to give him a big gestural hug or punch, and he'd have to fight with Verso later to vent off his feelings. He'd be filled with so much energy from this nutritious dish that he might even be able to take on Golgra without needing help. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what foods Monoco reminds you of. Thanks for following along.